All right, welcome in. I'm Sean Salisbury, along with my partner. You see him on NFL Network. He's ubiquitous. He's everywhere. You see him on Fox, Compass, and he is a big-time insider for 95.7 The Game and Dress Sharp. My guy, Brian Baldinger, joins us. Baldy, always great to be back with you again as we get to do this every year on our red and gold preview for the upcoming football season, and I'm pumped about it, brother. It's good to be with you another season.
You know, Sean, last year we did this, and, we thought the 49ers were going to be a good team. And to see them go to Dallas in the playoffs and win, to see them go to Green Bay and win, and then, to see them against the Rams, take them into the fourth quarter within just a couple plays away of getting to SoFi Stadium to represent the NFC. I mean, it was an incredible march in how they were able to do that last year. And they were led by just a dynamite defense. And the defense, to me, looks better this year than it did a year ago.
Well, we got a lot to get into. Baldy, I know they want that catch right in the middle of the chest back by Tart, but credit to the Rams.
Yep.
Overcoming the, when they get the coverage they need against Tampa Bay to throw the touchdown to Cooper Kupp, and then overcoming that and taking care of it. And they went out and went all in on Stafford, and it worked for them. Now it's the 49ers' opportunity to take advantage of this. Okay, are the 49ers making the right choice? Let's jump right into it, Baldy, with Trey Lance at quarterback. Talented, yet inexperienced with a Super Bowl roster.
I think it's the way I'm going to say this is yes, because you have to pay attention to the finances. The 49ers pay some of the great players in this league a lot of money, the highest contracts to George Kittle, to Trent, to Debo, to Freddie Warner, and all deservedly so. So you have to consider the finances. You got a chance for a quarterback on a rookie contract to keep this thing going, to get Nick Bosa taken care of, after the season, all that stuff they got to do. So from that standpoint, they are. But I think if you can afford Jimmy G this year, then I think they should. I just believe there's a place for him, whether you want to start him or not. He might be the most expensive insurance policy in this league, but it might be important. Might be important on a 17-game schedule to have a guy that can either come off the bench, or if there's an injury to Trey, or Trey's not playing well, that you have that option. A guy that would really understand his role and know the offense, and who knows, rally the team if you need to, because it's about another Super Bowl run for this organization. And so I'm not saying Trey Lance can't do it. None of us can say that. But it'd be nice to know that you've got a really good, capable player that can do it on the roster.
Baldy, you've been in huddles with veterans, and you've been in huddles with some talented young players. What's the toughest task that Trey Lance is going to face in year two and really his first full year starting when it's his team?
Well, there's no part of me right now, Sean, that doesn't believe that he feels pressure.
Right.
And that's not really the way players want to play. Players just want to go play. And, I'm sure Fred Warner and some of the veterans on that team, Trent, in addition to the staff, said, don't worry about mistakes. Go play. All right, we're good enough to overcome any mistake. And that's what you want to tell a young guy. But this organization is defined by Joe Montana and Steve Young and Super Bowls and runs to Super Bowls. Like, that's how they're defined. And the coach has got one that's hanging over his head. He's got to break through and win one to really be up there with his father and other great coaches in this league. And we all feel he's a great coach. So I feel like there's almost no part of Trey that can't feel like this pressure that's there to perform really well for a guy that has started a total of 4 games, in the last, 2 years. So it's just part of it right now. And we all know that it's very difficult to win games when you're a young quarterback. It just is. Sometimes the mistakes cost you games, and you got to make them to learn from those, from those things. And so that's my concern about Trey. I don't question the man's work ethic, his talent, or any of that stuff. I believe he'll be in there all day, studying, doing all the things he's got to do. He wants to be great. You got to learn the game. And everybody learns it at a different rate.
It's the voice of Brian Baldinger. I'm Sean Salisbury. You hear us both throughout 95.7 The Game during the football season. It's the red and gold preview here on 95.7 The Game. All right, how different is this offense? We got a guy who's consistent, if not spectacular, has missed some easy throws in Jimmy, but a pro and I quite frankly think underappreciated nationally. I do, Baldy, and Jimmy Garoppolo. And then you got the explosive talent, high octane, can move, big play guy. The question is, can he make the simple play enough times, the one you got to make every day? And how much difference this offense going to look with him at quarterback?
Well, just looking at preseason, he struggled to make some of the simple plays you talked about, Sean. Hitting George Kittle on a 5-yard stick route. Just the basics that you're talking about of the offense. Like you could see he starts a little hot sometimes in these games. The ball spins a lot faster than Jimmy's did. The receivers have had trouble catching his ball going back to last year. So that's on the receivers. It's not on Trey. But yes, I do think that the plays that are there to be made, he's got to be able to make those. And but that's every quarterback. I don't think he has to be spectacular. I don't think he has to, be on the highlight reel every week or anything like that. The one thing we haven't seen from him in the preseason, he hasn't run. He scrambled twice, but there's going to be some defined runs, which should be a big part of the rushing attack. Maybe not as much as his first start last year against Arizona, when he carried it like 20 some ridiculous times in that game, but enough to keep your defense honest, to get first down, to keep the chains moving, to stay on the field. So that's a component that he brings that Jimmy, didn't have to do. So, I want to, that's a part of this thing, is extending some plays.
Baldy, is there a chance that a guy who's in his second year, knowing he's on a really good team and knowing where they've been 3 of the last 4 years, or 2 of the last 3 years, really, and the one that Jimmy was hurt, is there a chance you try to play the hero game? That he tries to be too big a hero?
I hope not. I hope not. We have seen that. Even if it's 2 minutes to go and you go for the hero ball versus the 10-yard out to stay on the field and keep pecking away. I hope he doesn't do it, but if he does, Sean, it's just part of the process. You just hope you learn from it, And so, to me, I would, like, I know Kyle is hard on his quarterbacks. He's very demanding, and he should be. But I do think you've got to give Trey some leeway here and to see things the way he sees it. It's one thing for Kyle to say the ball's got to go here. This situation ball. And it's another thing for the quarterback not to blow Kyle off, but he sees something different. He had obstruction in his face. He had the left guard got beat. The receiver slipped. All those things that can happen on any play that takes you off that read. Like I just want him to be able to just relax and be comfortable making mistakes, whether it's getting the ball knocked out of your hands in the pocket. But trying to do too much can be a worse thing than any mistakes you can make.
All right. You're looking at this now going into the season. Expectations are still high, regardless if he's second year or not. You know that, Baldy. What are your expectations for them? Are they the best team in the division with him at quarterback?
I think the Rams are still the team to beat. They haven't gotten worse. The coaching staff is back. The coach is great. His 4 head coaches in the league over the last 4 years is a testament to his coaching and the staff that he puts together. You get rid of a great offensive line coach, and you hire Kevin Carberry, first-year head coach, offensive line coach, does a great job. They're built around their stars. The stars showed up in the postseason. They delivered, and they won a Super Bowl. I think the Rams are still the team to beat, although the 49ers have had great success against Sean McVay in those Rams. But I think they're the best team. I can't look at Seattle and Geno Smith and saying that San Francisco's not better than them. I can't look at what Arizona has lost and what they have and say that San Francisco's not better than them. And when I look around the NFC, they are a playoff team. I don't know what seed they are right now, Sean, but they are a minimum of a 10-win team, which is going to get you to the postseason. And if they get a streak together and they come together and they figure out their identity and they start playing to it, they put that streak together that all playoff teams are looking for at some point, whenever it happens. Like, they could win 11 or 12 games.